Uh-oh, guess what day it is?
I'm gonna make you girls a HumpDay treat.
Mike. It's Hump Day.
Perhaps I could help you with that hump.
What hump?
A very good day for some midweek malarkey.
Indeed it is. It's Wednesday already. Well, the middle of the week. We're almost to the day that used to mean something. Almost 2 days until Monday, that day being Friday. I'm Brad Staggs. This is Midweek Malarkey. It's just where we hang out for a little bit and, tell stories about stupid people. That's pretty much it. I mean, isn't that enough? I want to start off, though, by, of course, mentioning something I didn't mention today on the show that I usually do, which is the Daily Mojo, every morning from 7 until 9 at thedailymojo.com. I think this happened, was this, today is, this happened back on the 1st. It's a week ago. And you may or may not know who Dwayne Eddy is. Probably like, who? But he did play a mean guitar. He was 86 years old. He died due to cancer in Tennessee, surrounded by his wife and family. He did at least get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That, by the way, is the Peter Gunn theme. Thank you, Grandpa. Wanted to make note of that. And let's see, who else was it that... the producer for Nirvana, Steve Albini. He died at the age of 61. I think that news just came out today. Died at 61 from a heart attack. So he was known for collaborating with Nirvana. He died as he was considered a legend of a recording studio. News of Albini's unexpected passing confirmed to Pitchfork by a staff member at his recording studio, Electric Audio in Chicago. Life is short. You know what I'm saying? You got to stop and smell the roses. And again, you have to laugh at the absurdity and the stupidity that surrounds us on a daily basis, because if you don't, you'll go insane. This first story comes to us from the zoo. Woodland Park Zoo in Seattle. Zoos are places where generally you have a good time. You bring the family, you bring the kids, and you look at the animals, and you marvel at the wildlife and how big they look right in front of you. In this case, though, as the kids and the rest of the family were standing around in front of the bear cage, a family of ducks wandered into the bear cage, which is never a good... I mean, they tell you as a human never to jump over the wall into the bear cage. It's even more important if you're a duck, because you're more likely to be... you can fit on a toothpick more easily if you're a duck. And as all the kids are... you can hear all the kids in the background. They're just, hey, look at that big bear. Oh, look at the little ducks. Oh, look at the bear eat the duck. Yeah, that was the tasty baby duck that the bear went after first, chewing. I think the bear did chew at least 10 or 12 times before swallowing. That's good. You don't want to... And, of course, somebody who is... whoever is operating the cameras asking the bear to please nicely leave the baby ducks alone, and instead the bear goes after another baby duck. Mother Nature is, how do you say it?
That was not nice.
See, that was not nice. See, that you can't tell your kids that was not nice. That's what the bear is. He's being a bear. The ducks are being ducks. Ducks aren't known for their brains. And, the mother duck, instead of whooping the, and there goes the last baby duck. Bad duck. Very bad duck. 2 million views on that. You know what? As a duck, you should probably never take your family to the zoo. I'm just going to say there's a lesson to be learned. And it's more of a learning opportunity for the kids, isn't it? To tell them how cruel nature can be. To let them know that if, one day they're going to get up, they're going to be the baby. They can either be the baby duck or they can be the bear. Pick one or the other. Teach your children well. Teach them to be the bear. Am I right? Don't teach them to be the crocodile. Which, who knew there was going to be a crocodile in a little pond over in Britain? Kind of weird. Didn't realize that Buckinghamshire village would be home to any crocodiles. There would be crocodiles there, right? I mean, they're not alligators, because alligators here, crocodiles don't. The residents of Colesbury in Buckinghamshire, they looked out, they saw that scene, and admittedly, they were a bit freaked out. They, of course, called the cops. And when they did call the cops, and the cops came out, officers arrived on the scene on May the 2nd, and one brave officer, he dove right in. Dove right in and found out that it was, in fact, just a plastic head of a crocodile. You can see him carry the plastic head of the crocodile right there. It's a brave man. Always know what you're calling the cops for. That's always a good idea. Not every day you get sent, as the cop said, not every day you get sent out to check the existence and whereabouts of a crocodile. Speaking of crocodiles, now this guy's more of just a douche. If you look up douche in the dictionary, this is the guy you will see. This is Benjamin Schlichter. Benjamin Schlichter ain't right in the head. He was charged with aggravated assault and obstructing, hindering persons when he tried to choke his mom out because she wanted him to eat his salad. You are supposed to eat your greens, after all. The Columbia County Sheriff's deputy responded to the Martinez home. This happened a couple of weeks ago. The victim explained that her son, Benjamin Schlichter, noted douche, placed her in a rear chokehold after she instructed him to clean up the salad that he had spilled. Told you. Right? She said she could barely breathe, felt like she was going to faint. She was on the porch. 911. She goes back in, stairs, goes up to her room, but douche man there grabs his mother and knocks the phone away. Dad's there too. He hears a scream. He runs upstairs. He grabs his son, the douche, and holds him down on his bed until the law enforcement has arrived. How old is this guy? I mean, he looks like he's 30, right? What is he doing living at home? This is what happens when you have failure to launch, combined with douchery. If you see this guy on the street, don't help him. The deputy handcuffed Schlichter and transported him to the Columbia County Detention Center. During the drive, Schlichter spontaneously uttered, "I didn't mean to do it, and I didn't mean to hurt her." The case is pending in court. Douche on every quarter. Am I right? Or am I right? Oh, an update on a story we did several weeks ago here on Midweek Malarkey. Again, the stories of people that will make you feel better about yourself. Make you feel better about the people around you because you're not anywhere close to the level of douchery these people are. This guy right here, Stephen Nerdin. I mean, you look at him and you say, sure, he looks like a fine, upstanding citizen. 38 years old. You may recall, this has been a couple of months ago. And it was back in January. He was arrested January for New Year's Day. And you may recall that he, as a weapon, used how shall I say this delicately? He used a pink, rhymes with schmildo. He used that to hit his girlfriend. I don't know. I mean, he attacked her with it after she called him a rhymes with wimp wick in need of Viagra. According to the court records, he then he threw the schmildo at her, and she called the cops, and he was sent to jail that night. Just this past week, he did plead no contest on Friday to that domestic battery. We don't know if it was battery or not, but he did plead no contest Friday to that domestic battery charge stemming from the confrontation at the home in Florida. I know it's crazy. They say likely there was alcohol, in fact, involved, and possibly other drugs. He pleaded no contest to not only the battery, but then he was, after he got out of jail that time, he violated the terms of his release, of his pretrial release, by repeatedly contacting the victim via text messages, Facebook, Snapchat, and TikTok. Right? I mean, it's not stalking if you really got to talk to him. Am I right? He has, in fact, been behind bars for the last 3 months, so he's not been much of a threat to anybody, except Bubba in the cell about 3 doors down. He was fined $1,000. His jail sentence will run concurrently with a misdemeanor battery case as punishment, and you and I will pay for his meals. Well, technically, no. I mean, this is a state thing, so if you're in Florida, you'll be paying for all of his meals. Wow, he didn't just hit her with the schmildo. Wow, that was let's leave that one right there, because that's it's weird when you get into that stuff. Then there are the stupid people that you and I run into on the highway, and by run into, I mean they run into us. This is video taken from someone's dash cam. There is no sound to it, sadly, but this is the video of a dude with a dump truck, and he wasn't smart enough to put the dump truck in the down position as he went under the overpasses on the freeway. This is in Virginia, by the way, so you folks in Virginia, man, that thing just, wow. It didn't even dent. Maybe it scratched it up a little bit. It's in Virginia, the highway overpass. The truck's raised trailer collided. It's past tense of collide with the overpass bridge, and then broke free from the truck, flipping into the roadway. Miraculously, nobody was reported injured from the incident, and everybody there was driving quickly enough that no cars were damaged. How do you forget that your dump is up? I mean, seriously, how do you forget? Isn't there a beeper or something that goes off in the cab of your truck? As you're driving, can't you feel that there's some wind resistance on that thing? It can't fix stupid. It was unclear why the dump truck's trailer was raised or whether its driver was aware of it before the collision. I'm going to guess that they weren't. But again, that is just a guess. Meanwhile, I believe this happened in Colorado. It would be a tragedy. This next item, it would be a real tragedy if, in fact, there was any real beer involved, but it was Coors.
Again. I've just got time for one more.
It's actually in California.
Top again.
This was an icy road, and the truck hauling all of the Coors beer, the Silver Bullet, overturned and spilled the entire load onto the highway. The California Highway Patrol station in Gold Run said the big rig overturned on an icy patch of Interstate 80 westbound in Placer County. Again, if that was real beer, that would have been a huge tragedy. Being it was just the silver bullet. It could have been Bud Light, right? Could have been worse. Roadway was closed to traffic between Rainbow and Cisco. Crews had to work to clear the Coors beer cans from the road. The driver and passenger that got, let's see, they were treated for minor injuries. So, Post warned residents not to try to attempt their own amateur cleanup of the spilled beers. I mean, again, if you're going to drink Coors beer and you see that in front of you, why wouldn't you stop? I mean, what are they going to do with it? Throw it away? At least they could at least have given some of it away on the side of the road. See, sometimes it's just the waste that bothers you. But again, if you're going to be drinking Coors beer, okay. So if you're listening to the podcast, you don't have to worry about this. But if you're watching the video portion of Midweek Malarkey, or you're watching it live, thank you for doing so, number one. Number two, this next illustration is it's different. That's what you think it is. It's a rat with a very large, what you'd think it would be. That was the problem with that, and no, that's not like the correct proportion. That was actually in a peer-reviewed study that went into a February issue of Frontiers in Cell and Developmental Biology. It was written, it was peer-reviewed with that illustration, and that illustration was created by, let's say it together now, AI. And if you look at the labels on the illustration, let's see here, what does it say over on this side? Syncotolic stem cells, diloctal stem cells, and rat. It does have rat labeled, and of course it has disulcid, and whatever the DCK is, I don't know if that's missing a letter. Of course, you have the retat and the iolate Saragotmer cell, which is all absolute nonsense. Because I don't know if you've noticed this, but AI can't spell. It's weird. You give it prompts, you tell it what to say, how to spell stuff. It can't spell. It misspells it every time. I tried to have it create an image of the Desert Air Motel, where we, of course, are centered in our broadcast here and all of the other shows. But it just could not get the sign right. Why don't you just go out front and take a picture of the motel, you ask? More fun having AI do it. The article was on rat testes stem cells. It had, in fact, undergone peer review and editorial vetting before being published. Scientists looked at that and went, okie dokie. It's just, vexed by the AI's ability to, this is a big word here, the exponential, vexed by AI's ability to abet the exponential enshittification of science. I don't know that that's a real word. I think he may have made that up. Shame on him. The sudden pollution of science with AI-generated content known to yield plausible-sounding but sometimes difficult to detect errors known as hallucinations. That is a big deal. Hallucinations are, with AI, that happened with lawyers when they had tried to have AI do legal stuff in the court. It made up case law. Because why not? I mean, especially if it benefited the case, right? But that's called hallucination. It's serious, and its impact will be lasting, according to AI researcher and critic Gary Marcus on X, formerly known as Twitter. AI is here to stay. You might as well have some fun with it. Am I right? Or am I right? If you want to get a hold of us here at Midweek Malarkey, you can do so. I mean, it doesn't matter what you want to say. Say anything. I hate you. I love you. I don't care. Brad at thedailymojo.com. I think that's my email address. It is now. You can find me on the socials at RealBradStaggs. And if you would, please install the Daily Mojo app. Why would I want to do that? Well, let me tell you. It's full of vitamins. It's full of minerals. It's got good vibes in it. And the stuff that makes you lose weight. Whatever that was, a semi-glutamate. Which it really doesn't, but it sounds good. And if it did have that and it was free, you'd do it, wouldn't you? So do it anyway. And that way you will get notified of the next time we do Midweek Malarkey. You'll get notified. Daily Mojo is going to be happening. You'll get notified of a lot of things. And people, quite frankly, will like you more. Not that that's scientifically proven, but then again, that's what AI said. The sponsor of this episode of, hey, I just got a notification from the Daily Mojo myself. I wonder what it says. Hang on just a second. It says, hey, Midweek Malarkey is happening. I'll be darned. Son of a gun. It'll also let you know when we upload new videos to YouTube and to Rumble as well. As I was saying, Get Well Mojo is the sponsor of this episode of Midweek Malarkey. Get Well Mojo is where you will find the wellness company, and they've got these new travel emergency kits and a bunch of different medical kits with stuff in them that you need. Could be your prescriptions, could be general antibiotics. But if you're going to be going on a trip this summer, and after all, who isn't? It's the time to get out there and blow the rest of the money you had saved up. Right? But no matter where you're going, if it's camping or to the big city, make sure that you have emergency medical supplies along with you just in case an emergency happens. Because usually emergencies are unexpected. I don't know if you knew that or not, but they do tend to pop up out of nowhere. That's why they're called emergencies. And you can get everything you need to make sure that you and your family are well at getwellmojo.com. And now, on with the countdown. You probably didn't watch any of the coverage of the Met Gala, mainly because you're an intelligent human being, and why would you? But there was one particular dress that has been making, I guess, not the rounds, but I don't even, who is Tyla? She sings a song called Water. She's 22, and so the dress that she's wearing is made of sand. Is it beautiful? Is it really? I mean, talk about sucking up by the paparazzi. How the hell do you make a dress out of sand? It was so heavy, she literally had to be carried up the steps. That's how stupid the whole thing was. They had to lift her up and carry her up because they say the dress was too heavy and it was too tight. It's a lot of things, but I don't think it's beautiful. It's unique. It's different. It's imaginative. Is it beautiful? Then they had to cut the thing apart because it was literally too heavy for her, and also she couldn't walk in it because it was like trying to walk with rubber bands around your ankles. How do you make a dress out of sand? Is she wearing anything? Or is that just like sand spray painted onto her? And you know that dress was like $1 million. And again, who is she? I know, Grandpa. Tyla. She sings Water. Got to keep up with things like this. Got to keep up with the old pop culture. As soon as you stop doing that, you lose track. Like $1 million for A dress made out of sand. I'm telling you, it's a lot of stupid out there. You mix stupid with beer, and the results are sometimes, I don't know, they're different. Were we talking about zoo animals? I think we were. I think we were talking about zoo animals. Oh, yeah, the bear. As in Smokey and the bear. The bear and, the ducks. And while at the zoo, I mean, who doesn't want to stop by and see the pandas? I mean, especially if you're in China and you're going to Middle Kingdom. No. Let's see, what is the name of their... the Taizhou Zoo in Zhengzhou province. Because when you go to Taizhou Zoo in the Zhengzhou province, that's where you will see the panda bears. Right? I mean, how cute are those panda bears? Those are some cute panda bears. Oh, you can't see them. Oh, that's sad. I'm sorry. You want to see the panda bears? Here you go. Here are the panda bears. I mean, you can hear them speaking in Chinese about what cute panda bears they are, right? Hey, those are some cute panda bears right there. What? You think they're just dogs painted to look like panda bears? No. The Chinese would never do that. At the Taizhou Zoo in Zhengzhou province, they would never just take chow chow dogs and paint them to look like panda. I mean, would they? Surely not. Those sneaky Chinese zookeepers. But you know what, quite frankly? They're cute anyway. I don't care what you say. Even if you're at the zoo and you're expecting panda bears and all you get are chow chow dogs painted to look like panda bears, stop your complaining. I mean, they're cute. You should just enjoy it while it's there. People were kind of pissed off for whatever reason. I mean, you had to look at the little pair of panda bear dogs, chow dog bears, pan dogs. Pan dogs. They are pan dogs. Or they are dandas. I mean, they could be dandas. There's another. Look at, I mean, what are they doing? They trying to make more pandas? That's weird. That's like AI came up with that picture of the dogs. Huh. Kind of strange. So when you go to China, make sure that you make them prove to you that, in fact, they're real panda bears. If you're in New York, I think this is actually just happened last week, though. You may have missed out on Cheeseball Man. Cheeseball Man had a massive crowd to watch him eat an entire jumbo jar of cheese balls. There were flyers put up around the town. Watch me eat this entire jar of cheese balls. Union Square Park. It happened on the 27th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There's a promotional picture of Cheeseball Man. If, again, you cannot see the broadcast today, it's a man in an orange ski mask, covers his entire face with little pokey holes. Not to be confused with poke bowls, but with little pokey holes for his mouth and his two eyes. And he's also wearing an orange cape. I'm not saying he went full retard, but it's absolutely possible that he did. In any event, he has a big old thing of cheese balls in front of him, and I guess he ate the entire jar. I mean, there's Cheeseball Man with his big Cheeseball Man banner. See, there was a moment I was definitely going to throw up, he said, and then people said, keep it down really loudly. So I just kept it in. That's good advice anytime, anywhere you are. You're going to throw up, just keep it in. The recent NYU graduate, he told ABC News 2 days after his little spectacle there on ABC News actually went, I think everybody wants to be behind the mask. The anonymous cheeseball eater told ABC News about his fans. I didn't really expect this many people to show up. How many were there? They don't have an official figure. Most people reportedly showed up because it sounded hilarious. Because what says comedy more than a guy dressed up in a ski mask and a cape and eating cheese balls? After running around with a flag of himself and shaking people's hands with his dusty cheese hands, the man said multiple times that he planned to go home and throw up. You gotta love this country. Am I right? I mean, this is the only place where, in fact, you can become a hero. The hero who is Cheeseball Man. He did accomplish his feat after about 30 minutes and then signed autographs for those who came out to support him. Of course he did. Now, I'm going to grant you something on this next story because, quite frankly, it's sad. And I think you should give it the proper respect that it deserves. That is a woman and two cows. Excuse me, that's a woman and a cow and a goat. You know, sometimes in England it is tough to tell the goats from the cows. I didn't know if you knew that or not, but just in case you didn't. That's a woman and a goat and a cow. And what she's doing is could absolutely go away. It is under threat because of the bird flu. This is very sad. Because of the bird flu and the fact that cows are catching the bird. Why are cows catching the bird? It doesn't matter. Because cows are catching the bird flu, and it's possible that cows could possibly give you the bird flu, even though neither one of you is a bird. The practice of cow cuddling is going to be postponed, restricted. What's the word? It is a big fad apparently in the UK. A reporter from Metro UK website went along to test out the fad firsthand, which advocates say can be calming, even therapeutic. Apparently, though, the new trend of cuddling what is the goat doing there? Why do we have a goat with the cow? I mean, if we're going to be cow cuddling, shouldn't we be just doing it like, there you go. There's a guy. There's a single, I don't know if he's single or not, but there's a guy with his cow. I don't know if it's his cow or just a borrowed cow that he's cuddling with. But the problem is that, you know, these the cows can get the bird flu. And then if you're cuddling with the cow, you can get the bird flu from the cow. Because it's happened here in Texas, I know. Even though they say in the UK it has not yet happened. There has been no cow to human transmission of the bird flu. We're not close enough to the election yet. Tim Boring, the director of Michigan's Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, has said, from a human to animal health standpoint, now is not a good time to be cuddling cows. And you can quote him on that. Tim Boring, the director of Michigan's Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, this is not a good time to cuddle cows. He added, this is to protect the cows and the people. So, yeah, the whole cow cuddling thing, probably not a good idea. There was a story in BuzzFeed on some of the things that women found in a guy's bedroom after going home with him. I don't know what they did after they were going home. I have no idea, not my business. But the fact that they found some of these items in the boyfriend's bedroom does make a person wonder. Because some of this stuff is really, really, really weird. There's one picture of them right there. There's a picture of some of the stuff. I mean, come on, doesn't anybody clean their room anymore? So these women, and this was on a Reddit thread. If you never stop by Reddit and read, they're actually, some of them are quite entertaining. But these are some of the things these are some of the stories that women tell after they go home with a guy. I don't know if they're going to read books, listen to records, but one said, I met this cute guy, went home with him after a couple of dates. His whole apartment was so dirty and full of trash, you couldn't even walk through it. But what really got to me were the beauty products and makeup lying around in the bathroom, obviously not used in a long time. The amount of dust and dirt on them made me realize they must have been from his ex-girlfriend with whom he had broken up 2 years prior. Seriously, men are pigs. Why would you leave? That was, by the way, from Megan or Casual Goat 15. I don't know. Kids these days. Shay says, it wasn't one thing, but many things. I walked into his place for the first time, and it was like I walked into an episode of Hoarders. Trash everywhere, stacks of food cans, garbage bags, and 2 full litter boxes with multiple cats running around. It was sheer tomfoolery. You don't hear that word very often. Sheer tomfoolery. He then proceeded to play a piano that I couldn't even see because of all the trash. She ended her post with, I ran my ass the hell out of there. Probably a good idea. Green flag. Green flag. He had a picture of his dog on his nightstand. Is that good or bad? Paige considers it a red flag if a man doesn't have any books by women authors. A lack of curiosity or interest in other perspectives. In other words, hers. Everything seemed normal enough. Things weren't super decorated, which is fine. No mattress on the floor kind of crap either. But as soon as I saw a sticker on the side of his computer tower of a cartoon girl in a skimpy swimsuit with big old boobs, lost all interest. Just no. Why so narrow-minded? I mean, seriously. What's wrong with that? Dirty dishes? Is that a problem? Really? If you go home? I'd gone out on a few dates with a nice guy. He was attentive. He was charming. He was well-dressed, fairly intelligent. I watched him play in a softball tournament. He asked if I'd mind stopping at his place so he could change before going out to dinner. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. It was fairly fairly safe so far. I stepped into his place, and I swear the city dump was cleaner. Seriously, dudes, what is wrong? Can you not clean up after yourselves? Dirty dishes and pans were stacked high on the kitchen counter. The sink was overflowing with dirty dishes. Numerous pizza boxes, empty beer cans, as long as they weren't Coors, on the coffee table, and dirty clothes everywhere. He looked right at me and he said, feel free to start cleaning up around here while I change. Wow. He seemed surprised when he came out of the bedroom and I hadn't moved. Told him I wasn't his mommy and he asked him to take me home. I noped right out of that relationship. Swords. 2 of my exes had real swords on display. What's wrong with having a sword on display in the bedroom? I'm just saying. I don't think it's all that bad. As I was telling you, AI can't spell. That right there is it's supposed to be a honky tonk bar, but it just says honky bar. So I'm not sure if that's like white people only. Is that honky 3 or honky B? I'm not sure. Either way, it's a weird looking bar, and that's what AI comes up with. when I told it I wanted a bar with hillbilly people standing around looking to go inside. That's what it gave me, is hillbillies. They don't look like hillbillies to me, look like cowboys. But then I also asked AI to write a little song about, mixing stupid people with beer and how it usually wasn't a good idea, because it's not. And here's the song called Small Town Blues.
Down at the local honky-tonk where the neon lights flicker and wink, there's a crowd huddled at the bar, sipping on their drinks, spilling their thoughts. Johnny Lee, a local troublemaker. He stumbles through that swinging door with a pocket full of bad decisions and a thirst that he can't ignore. Mix some stupid people with beer, it's a recipe of trouble, oh dear.
Right?
In small town stories spread like wildfire,
Don't they?
giving our little town a bad name, that's for hire. Oh, mix some stupid people with beer, yeah.
Never a good idea. Never a good idea to mix stupid people with beer. That is a lesson for today.
Oh, mixing stupid people with beer.
It's a chorus. Huh. And there you go. Kind of catchy. Never mix stupid people with beer. Speaking of, I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. And don't forget about Saturday Morning Live with Jeffy and moi, that's me in French, on Saturday morning. Live. If you're bored in between now and then, make sure you download the Daily Mojo app. And let me know. Send us a note on the Daily Mojo.
Join me and Jeff Fisher from the Chewing the Fat podcast.
Wait, hold on just a second.
Abnormal. And that's just
Wait just a minute. It can't do that. Can it? I guess it kind of just did. Ruined the whole flow. Let's pretend I just said see you on Saturday and tomorrow morning at 7 for the Daily Mojo. And then it's supposed to say,
and another exciting episode of Midweek Malarkey is in the can, appropriately enough. Please remember to smash that like button if there is one, subscribe if you can, rate and review if it's possible, and tell a couple of friends about the show. Help spread the word. Coming up tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock Central, it's another fun-filled excursion into the real world on the Daily Mojo with me and producer Ron. Every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock Central, join me and Jeff Fisher from the Chewing the Fat podcast as we point out the absurd, the ridiculous, and the abnormal. And that's just Congress. Hey-o. Now go forth and be fruitful. We need to outpopulate the stupid. I'll let Habib have the last word.